Dr. Larry Walker, former Capitol Hill senior staffer, we always appreciate your time here at Live Now from Fox. We look forward to checking in soon.
Thanks for having me. Have a nice evening.
Of course, you as well. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break here on our programming, but we still have so much more to get to. A look at the White House over in Washington, D.C. We'll see you back here in 2 minutes. Welcome back. You're watching Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Carla Lara. I want to give you a live look out of Dallas, Texas. This is courtesy of our partners at EarthCam. And that's where I'm taking you for this next tragic story. A Dallas police officer was found shot in his marked patrol vehicle late last night. Now, Officer Darren Burks has died. Another one is in critical condition, and a third officer is expected to be okay. Fellow officers shot and killed the suspect after a police chase that ended in Louisville. I do want to get to this report from our Fox 4 Dallas reporter, Sean Robb.
Officers, shook by 3 fellow officers being shot, gather at Methodist Hospital in the pre-dawn hours, where new police officer Darren Burks was brought after being ambushed as he sat in his police vehicle in the 900 block of East Ledbetter a little after 10 Thursday night. The shooting, senseless to the entire police community.
Why are we dying at the hands of a person and we're not even in conflict with you? You don't even know me. You don't know any of these officers, but you go into combat with an officer? You blindside him? That's terrible.
Burks was able to somehow transmit over his radio after being shot. Backup showed up. Another rookie and her field training officer. Both were shot. The female officer more serious, taken to Baylor Hospital. Either she or her training officer may have been able to return gunfire, possibly hitting the suspect, who took off in a white sedan with more officers in chase. Part of that captured by TxDOT cameras along I-35 North in Louisville. The suspect stopped on the freeway and got out.
When that suspect exited that vehicle, he had a long gun. Dallas police officers then shot at the suspect, fired at the suspect, and he died at that scene.
Officer Darren Burks graduated Lake Highlands High School in Richardson in 1998. Later, continuing his education at Paul Quinn College.
Yeah, he was part of the first graduating class when I became president in 2007.
Quinn president, Dr. Michael Sorrell.
Darren was a loved member of this community. He was a wonderful fraternity member to his brothers at Omega Psi Phi. He was a wonderful alum of Paul Quinn. He invested in his institution, and we will miss him. We will honor his memory, and We are grateful that we knew him for the time we had him. We just wish we had him for longer.
Burks shaped young minds at Texarkana Academy, where he taught math 17 years, all before a different calling with Dallas Police. The school sharing, he was not only an excellent educator, but a mentor to countless students and a cherished friend to the entire Pleasant Grove educational community.
He was a salt of the earth, fundamentally good brother. This is one of those pains that will not go away anytime soon.
With 2 officers suffering gunshot wounds and a city in mourning for Officer Darren Burks, who entered the Dallas Police Academy last year, Sheldon Smith, Black Police Association, says it's time to remind that police lives matter too.
And the person that would risk his life for you, drive 100 miles an hour to get to you to help you, never met you in your entire life, but they'll risk their lives for you, you shoot and kill him?
Thank you to Fox 4's Sean Robb for that report on Officer Burks' life. Now, just moments ago, we did get another update from investigators down there in Texas, so I'd like to play that out for you next.
What I want to say is, obviously, we're less than 24 hours from this tragedy, and so I'm going to tell you what I know as I've been briefed. Things can change, and they may change as this investigation continues to unfold. But as a department and as a family, we are devastated. Last night, we lost a brother, a hero. Officer Darren Burks was a son, a nephew, a friend to many, and he was senselessly and tragically murdered in the line of duty. We came close to losing other officers who put their lives on the line to protect their brother, and it is by the grace of God they are still with us today. Our officers were targeted for nothing more than the uniform they wear and for the brave and honorable job that they do. I do want to make something clear. I know that the word ambush has been thrown around in the last 24 hours or so. That's not what happened here. Officer Burks was executed. Our preliminary investigation has determined that on Thursday, August 29th at 10:02 p.m., the suspect, identified as 30-year-old Corey Cobb Bay, a black male, arrived in the 900 block of East Ledbetter Drive and parked his white Buick. At 10:04, Officer Burks arrived at the location and parked near the front entrance of the building between call assignments. Cobb Bay approached Officer Burks and talked with him briefly through the driver's side window as he recorded the encounter with a cell phone. The suspect then pulled out a handgun and executed Officer Burks as he sat in his vehicle. At this point, a police dispatcher noticed an unusual transmission from Officer Burks' radio. The dispatcher attempted to contact Officer Burks, who did not respond. The dispatcher located Officer Burks via his GPS location and sent officers to check on him. Meanwhile, the suspect went back to his vehicle and took out a shotgun, goes back to Officer Burks' squad car, placing the weapon on the roof. At 10:11 p.m., Senior Corporal Jamie Farmer responded, pulled into the parking lot, and the suspect immediately encountered and fired a handgun at Officer Farmer. Officer Farmer returned fire and ran across the parking lot. The suspect grabbed the shotgun from the top of the squad car and fired one time towards Officer Farmer, who continued running. Officer Farmer was hit once in the leg. At 10:12 p.m., Senior Corporal Carissa David arrived and positioned her squad car at the entrance of the parking lot. The suspect ran towards Officer David and shot at her multiple times as she exited her vehicle. Officer David returned fire, but it was shot in the face during the exchange. Officer Burks and Senior Corporal Farmer and David were taken to a local hospital where Officer Burks died from his injuries. After Senior Corporal David was shot, a sergeant arrived on scene and saw the suspect standing near his vehicle. The officer directed the next arriving patrol element to follow the suspect, who fled westbound on East Ledbetter and then northbound onto I-35. Patrol pursued the suspect into Louisville, and Cobb Bay came to a stop on the expressway just north of Highway 121 and exited his vehicle with the shotgun in his left hand. The suspect approached the officers and pointed the shotgun at them. Officers Nathaniel Baker, David Lem, Corey Reed, Richard Pace, Vladimir Perez, and Joel Portillo all fired their department-issued firearms, striking the suspect multiple times. Cobb Bay died at the scene, and no officers were injured in this exchange of gunfire. Senior Corporal Farmer was treated and released from the hospital today, and Senior Corporal David remains in critical but stable condition. At the Louisville scene, 2 shotguns were recovered. At the Ledbetter scene, a .22 caliber handgun was recovered, along with the 9mm handgun used by the suspect. The Dallas Police Special Investigations Unit responded in investigating the incident. The Dallas County District Attorney responded and is conducting an independent investigation. The Office of Community Police Oversight was notified. As I said earlier, our officers were targeted by this coward. Our detectives have learned from social media that 3 days ago, Cobb Bay approached an unmarked squad car of an unknown law enforcement agency and recorded as he questioned the officers about why they were parked there. He expressed problems with his personal and professional life online. And 1 day ago, he made a post indicating an event was happening on Friday. The investigation determined last night was premeditated, again for no other reason than the uniform we wear, that my men and women proudly wear, and for the brave and honorable job our men and women do each day. And it was brave and honorable work done last night. From our dispatcher who knew something wasn't right while listening to a radio transmission, he followed his training and protocol, sending help to our officer when he needed it most. To our 2 injured officers who engaged, showing true bravery while looking evil right in the face, responding to help their fellow officer. To the officers involved on our second scene, knowing the risks, pursuing a dangerous, violent criminal who just took the life of their brother officer and who injured others. And to our fallen officer, Officer Darren Burks, we will never forget his sacrifice. Our department is hurting. We're grieving the loss of our brother. And while we stand behind and support his loved ones and our injured brother and sister officer who are in their own fight after this senseless evil act. But despite our hurt, despite our grief, as a department, as a city, and as a family, we will keep fighting. We will not be deterred from our mission. Fighting for our fallen, for what is right, and for this city. We honor our fallen and our injured heroes by continuing our mission every day. Yes, we have tough days ahead, but we will get through it as we always do, together and as a law enforcement family. Earlier today, I visited with Senior Corporal Farmer, who miraculously was released from the hospital today. He was in great spirits. I also visited with Senior Corporal David, who is fighting and has a long road to recovery. And I also visited Burke's mother, who is a beautiful, strong woman of faith. We hugged each other, we cried together, but I assured her that we will be with her every step of the way, and that her son will be remembered as a hero. Also visited 3rd Watch, South Central, which Officer Burks was a member of, and assured them that anything they need in regard to their mental wellness, the department is here for them. They are hurting, as we all are, but passed on the message to them as we did to the rest of our department that we need to take care of themselves and each other. Before I open up to questions, I'm gonna, Interim City Manager Tolbert has a few comments to say.
Thank you, Chief Garcia. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank the members of the Dallas City Council for being here with us today. On behalf of our entire City of Dallas family, today we are mourning with you, our brothers and our sisters of the Dallas Police Department. You bravely put your lives on the line every single day to serve and to protect us. Last night, Officer Darren Burks paid the ultimate sacrifice in a senseless act of violence. To Officer Burke's mother and his extended family, though we offer you prayers of comfort, we cannot begin to comprehend the pain that you are going through right now. But we will wrap our arms around you as you navigate this difficult journey. To Senior Corporal Farmer and Senior Corporal David, and to their families, we are praying for you and for your continued recovery. To the men and women of the Dallas Police Department, you are not alone. We will continue to stand beside you and to support you for all the days to come. God bless you, and God bless the city of Dallas. I will now read a statement from Mayor Eric Johnson, who is unable to be with us today because he is still isolating with COVID. Dallas has suffered a great tragedy. Officer Darren Burks truly was a hero. As a teacher and a Dallas police officer, he lived his life in service to others, to all of us. He dedicated himself to giving us a better, smarter world and a safer city. And last night, he made the ultimate sacrifice. He made Dallas a better place. Today, we grieve alongside his family, and we pray for the swift recovery of our 2 wounded officers. In Dallas, we put safety first, and we stand firm against violent criminals. Our police officers courageously risk their lives every day so the rest of us can sleep peacefully. An attack against them is nothing short of an attack on our city, our families, and our way of life. During this difficult time, we must come together and support each other as we honor our fallen. We will never forget the sacrifice of these 3 officers as we continue their fight to keep our community safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Interim City Manager Tolbert. 2 things. Number 1, we'll be releasing body-worn camera footage or dash cam footage of the final encounter with the suspect on Monday. We will not be releasing the surveillance video that depicts the execution before anyone asks. With that, I'll open up to questions. Becca. Yeah, I mean, it hurts. I gave him his badge. I've been seeing a picture circulating around of me shaking his hand with his badge. He was so proud. And so, yeah, of course it hurts. As I tell my recruits, I tell folks all the time, if you do this job long enough, you're gonna laugh together, you're gonna bleed together, you're gonna cry together. And yeah. Again, there's a briefing room, a detail room full of officers that are hurting, that worked with him. I'm sure there's an academy class that's hurting, as well as the rest of the department. So, you ask your men and women to do a job for this city, they do it, and yeah, you carry that. I carry that. But I don't know what else to say. It hurts.
Chief, when it comes to the suspect or the gunman's digital footprint, can you please speak to any possibility of him belonging to the Moorish Sovereign Citizens group? Did he also leave any kind of manifesto other than what you just explained to us? And can you say if there were there was a woman with him in the car?
I'll take your last question now. There's no indication there's a woman with him in the car. Yes, there's evidence that he's part of this Moorish sovereign citizen. We're, again, like I said, we're less than 24 hours into this, and so that will come out. We're scouring through his social media to see if we can find anything that's similar to some sort of type of manifesto. We did ask that question earlier in the briefing when I was briefed on it. But again, you know, the importance of this was to get the information that we know out as quickly as possible. But as that information comes forward, I can guarantee you we will be transparent with it if we do find something.
All right, we're listening here to an update from investigators looking into the death of this Dallas police officer who was shot, Officer Darren Burks. I do want to also put up this tweet from the Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett. It's quite lengthy, so I'll read some of it toward the bottom of this statement. And she basically details the moment that she found out about the officer's passing. But Crockett writes this: "It's times like this that I feel like the worst friend in the world. I miss out on so much on what's going on in my friends' lives, yet they have always stood with and supported me. I had no idea that last night my friend, a funny, salt-of-the-earth kind soul, had selflessly become Officer Burks and lost his life in the line of duty. Please, please, please just text one friend to get an update on their lives today. While I know tomorrow isn't promised to anyone, it doesn't stop the pain nor tears that are flowing. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your friendship. And until we meet again, rest in power, my friend." We're going to step away for a commercial break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us here at Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Carla Hara. We are looking ahead to this big holiday weekend. Labor Day travel is in full swing. Here on your screen, we have some live looks from different airports across the country, including Atlanta's airport, LAX, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. As I mentioned, millions of Americans expected to travel over this holiday weekend, and the TSA predicts this will be the busiest Labor Day weekend on record. Fox's Bowen Kedrovich, he is at the Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport. Bowen, good to see you. What have you been seeing there?
Corral. Well, throughout the day, it's been pretty steady for people coming in and out of this airport. But where I have seen some of the biggest crowds is actually down over in baggage claim. Seems like a lot of people have chosen New Orleans as their Labor Day destination, as it is well known for its French Quarter here. Now, TSA does predict that they will screen over 17 million people throughout this Labor Day weekend. According to AAA, the most popular destinations are Seattle, Anchorage, Orlando, New York, and Boston. Good news for travelers choosing to fly this weekend. The average price of airfare is $211. Now that is a decrease of $11 from last year. Today is one of the busiest travel days of the whole Labor Day weekend. Experts say the overall cost to travel has slightly dropped from last year, but travelers are being more mindful of how they spend their money.
You're seeing a lot more deals this year from airlines and hotels. I think the last couple of years, there was a lot of pent-up demand for travel, so people didn't care how much it cost. People are being much more conscious of cost. So you're starting to see that reflected with hotels, airlines lowering the prices slightly to try to reattract those customers.
Henderson recommends that for those who are choosing to fly, to make sure to give yourself plenty of extra time coming to the airport, as those record-breaking crowds and long lines through security are expected. Corral?
Now, Bowen, I know what I'm going to be doing this weekend. I'll be working because the news never stops. But do you have any fun plans? Are you traveling anywhere?
Well, Corral, I am hoping to get out onto the golf courses this weekend. I'm a big golfer, but with the way I do hit the golf ball, I'll probably have to bring a beach towel with me for how often I'm in the sand. So honestly, I might get best of both worlds there.
Well, I love that. I hope that you do enjoy this Labor Day weekend. Bowen Kedrovich there joining us live. Thanks for your time. We'll talk soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, and I do want to hear how our viewers are going to be spending their Labor Day weekend this holiday weekend here. So on your screen, we do have a question, a poll for anybody that's been tuning in with us throughout this week. Are you traveling this Labor Day weekend? All you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen and you can participate in this poll question. Overwhelmingly, we have 82% of people saying no and just 18% of people saying yes. So I guess if you're not traveling, you don't really have to stress too much about how busy the roads or flights are going to be, but we do hope that you enjoy your time. And if you are staying home, tune in with us here at Live Now from Fox, because we'll be on all weekend. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll see you back here right after this. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here at Live Now from Fox. I do want to turn your attention now, though, to a very tragic story in the world of hockey. Taking a look here at a tweet from the Columbus Blue Jackets, Johnny Gaudreau, August 13th, 1993 to August 29th, 2024. Now, Gaudreau and his brother have been killed by an alleged drunk driver. Both of them were riding bikes this week, and today, in fact, it was Johnny Gaudreau's sister's wedding. So it was on the eve of his sister's wedding. Both he and his brother were riding bikes when they were struck by that alleged drunk driver. Now, that driver, accused of killing the Columbus Blue Jackets forward, he appeared in court today, making his initial appearance through a virtual setting. The 43-year-old was there virtually, and the judge set a detention hearing for September 5th. Now, once again, investigators say the brothers were riding their bicycles on a rural road in Oldman's Township in New Jersey Thursday when they were hit by a Jeep Cherokee driven by Higgins. Officials believe Higgins, who is